Welcome, y'all. It's your boy Chris Miller G. And man, here we are, part two of episode one. I'm excited. Today, we're taking you through a tour of Christian hip hop. Here in Meeting CHH, as always, man, we keep it real. We'll keep explaining, keep appreciating, and keep leading. Let's go. When most people learn hip hop, you usually don't get introduced to the genre itself. You get introduced to someone in the genre. Someone either puts you onto an artist, you ask where they're from, you recognize the sound and the vibe, and then over time, you just pick up the culture. Maybe it was NBA YoungBoy, Drake, Lil Baby, Future, Raw Wave, Juice WRLD, whoever it may be. From there, you build outward. All right. So it's someone that I like, someone who they sounded like. Maybe it's someone that they were connected to, what lane they were in, and then that's how the culture pulls you in. And so with CHH, it's the same thing. Artists, they are the doorway to the space. You start usually with the artist. There's not necessarily a single artist that everyone should start with. It's just it depends on your taste. So if you like lyrical depth, conviction, you might like artists like KB, J Monty, Jackie Hill Perry, and Swoop. If you like more of that melody, energy, more of the sound, you might like artists like John Keith, Caleb Gordon, 1K Few, Miles Minnick. If you like more of that introspective, artists who like to experiment, you might like Andy Mineo, Tor Deshawn, Aha Gazelle, just to name a few. You don't start with the best, you start with what connects. And usually, the artist that you connect with the most is who you consider to be the best. Another way we understand hip hop is the sound and region. Usually, depending on where you're at, it's gonna sound different, right? So the West Coast, they usually, they be bringing in that bounce, that funk. They be having that like laid back type of energy sometimes. East Coast, they're more known for the grit, lyricism. That's where you have some of your roots with that boom bap. The South, that's where you get a lot of your trap, melody, bass influence. North, especially right now, big on the drill, the Jersey influence, even some of that UK. And talking about the UK globally as well, you got the Spanish, Afro influences that shaping hip hop as well. Regions create sound, and artists are still shaped by where they're from. Christian hip hop is the same thing. Christian hip hop follows the same pattern. Example, like Lecrae, the GOAT himself, sometimes be dabbling in some H-Town, chopped and screwed Texas sounds. Sometimes he be dabbling in the West Coast. He's all over the place sometimes. As he says it,
Always pippin' with the flow.
sound is shaped by environment, and faith doesn't erase that. However, at the same time, and the church culture sometimes does affect the sound. You do have those distinct church sounds, like whether it's the choir, that's big, the church praise and the church phrasing, that is a real thing. It is good to note though, nowadays, especially with this digital age, man, a lot of these lines are blurred. It doesn't matter where you're from. A lot of things get picked up and mixed in with different areas because, social media gives you access to all of those sounds. So in CHH, you got some artists that are signed, some that are independent, and it's some that function in collectives. Labels, they usually provide infrastructure, help with the distribution, they create collaboration lanes, and sometimes they influence the sound or the direction of an artist. One example is Reach Records. They are the biggest record label in Christian hip hop. They've helped bring CHH into a wider visibility. They normalize CHH, especially in the large hip hop spaces. They've literally put the stamp for CHH in the music industry. Another is Capital Christian Music Group. Even though they primarily deal more with Christian contemporary music and gospel, they do have a wide roster, and that roster now does include some CHH artists: NF, Childlike CC, Geo, Rua Young, and Tommy Riel, some who just recently signed. Polar Records, started by Marty from Social Club. Aliens, Alive, newer to the scene, but part of how the space keeps expanding. Labels don't make someone more Christian, they just amplify the work they're already doing. All right, it's important to note that. All right, collectives in CHH. Collectives, they usually center community over the contracts. They foster collaboration, and they often shape the culture, and not just the music. So a major example is Indie Tribe. Man, they have been on fire. You also got Heaven on Earth, Vert Mob as well. Man, these collectives, they're like community first, strong youth, and digital presence. They move the culture forward in sound and in visuals. Then you've got regional collectives too. So, like the Central Florida lane. Look, them Central Florida boys. If you don't know who I'm talking about Caleb Gordon, Alex Jean, Keyshawn Boone, Kenny Rivers, some other artists that's been coming out. And that's where proximity and relationships, they help create momentum. Once again, collectives, they often shape how a culture feels, not just how it sounds. And then obviously, independence has been one of the fastest growing lanes in hip hop, especially in CHH as well. It's been giving artists creative freedom, direct audience connection, and faster ways to adapt to the culture and trends, and not having other people deciding how you should sound or what moves to make. Being Christian doesn't remove these industry dynamics that you have within the music industry. It just adds another layer to navigate. Man, within hip hop, you do not have hip hop without the producers as well. Producers shapes the eras. Sometimes the producers themselves even shapes the artist's identity as well. Depending on what type of sound the artist is known for, the producers, they help with that. You had Kendrick on this whole West Coast type vibe. Big shout out, obviously, to DJ Mustard, who contributed to that as well on the GNX project. And CHH, man, producers matter just as much as well. I remember there was a time Gavi had a whole period where he was just killing it within Reach and introducing some new sounds into the space. Some producers in the CHH space, you got like I Project. You got Cavello, low-key one of my favorites, OK Warren, and there's countless of others, even artists themselves who produce their own beats as well. And these sonic shifts doesn't necessarily mean that the artist has shifted in their beliefs too. Sometimes the shift that you hear in CHH isn't even theology, it's production. Man, that's literally what it is. Not only on the mastering and mixing side, which shout out to those, but on the production as well. Man, so shout out to those on the production because they matter. I feel like a lot of producers, they just get put in the back burner within the music industry. As you know, hip hop has always been bigger than music as well. You have dance trends, fashion, the language, and the movement. CHH has the same dynamics. So within the fashion, man, some of the biggest fashion you catch, HGA by KB, His Glory Alone. Boy, that merch, it be going crazy. One of the staples in CHH2 is also Free Barabbas from Ha Gazelle, a couple of others as well. Language. Once you come into Christian hip hop, you'll realize, like, okay, there's a certain language that we say inside of space. I feel like one of the biggest ones recently is like P31, talking about either your wife or someone that you're looking for, a godly woman that you want to marry. You don't find a lot of people in the hip hop space saying P31. You find that more in CHH. And then other coded language that being more tapped in with the word, you would understand by knowing who Jesus is. And shout out to dancers in the space too, just to be able to dance to a song, helping to create some movement. So shout out to the dancers. In hip hop, moments matter. Whether that's a viral song, breakout features, cultural moments, they help pull people in. I feel like Doshi, Bossman Delos, Big the Plug, La Tyler has some viral moments and kind of shift the scene. CHH has those moments too, especially now. These algorithm moments and social exposure that's helped break these artists out. Just to name a few, Reed Trilla, King John Boone, Alex Jean, especially some of the visuals he's been dropping, Caleb Gordon, continuously going crazy. Artists like MTM, Isaiah. Yeah, AB from Texas doing that collab with Kyle Beats. Tommy Zuko and his 2 Up Tuesdays. Man, you had Child like Cece. Cultural moment. People were just using her song to show before they were in Christ and after they came to Christ. Man, that was a beautiful series. Jackie Hill Perry and killing it as well and signing to Reach Records. That's been dope. So a lot of moments in Christian hip hop. Now, these viral moments definitely creates visibility, but that doesn't necessarily equate to maturity. They're still probably trying to figure things out, right? Now, one of the biggest things in hip hop too that sometimes puts people on is certain beefs, tensions, and certain tribes. Now, every culture is gonna have its tension, right? Some of the big ones, especially within the past year, has been Kendrick versus Drake. You had Gunna versus Young Thug. Now, hip hop, it's just naturally competitive. You got egos, misunderstandings, social media magnifying all of this, right? Making something appear what it's really not sometimes. Sometimes it's real, and sometimes it's just noise. And in CHH, it has its own version too. Sometimes it's literally just doctrinal disagreements coming from different, church camps, debates on style, how they approach CHH. Sometimes it's just online misunderstandings. Not all tension is sinful, but not all of the tension is helpful either. All right, so every culture has storytellers. Hip hop, you got blogs, podcasts, Instagram pages, like Hip Hop DX. You got XXL, TMZ, people like DJ Academics, Joe Budden, Rap TV on Instagram. You got the Shade Room. CHH has its own ecosystem too for you to tap in, plug in, and know what's going on within the space. So you got blogs like Rapzilla, man. They've been one of the most recognizable CHH platforms. Been in the game for a while. Helped start a lot of this media outlet from the ground up. You got podcasts like Ruslan, Track Stars, even the Deep End from Lecrae. You got Instagram pages like Proper Excel going crazy. Christ Excel also going crazy. CHH Talk, especially with the album of the year, also now including recently this year, artist of the year, producer of the year, of music video of the year, creative of the year. That's dope. But yeah, so shout out to the media outlets. Whoever tells a story helps shape how the culture is understood. So it's important for those doing that work. And with that being said, man, actually, I do want to give a quick shout out to Soul CHH because, man, he's been doing exactly that. He's been narrating and creating content over impactful moments within the CHH space. And, man, it's been needed, especially this past year. He's been going crazy. So big shout out to him. Can't wait to see what's coming up. So yeah, man, before we move on, it's important to honor the artists, the producers, the creatives, and the media voices who've helped shape this space. And ultimately, we thank God for sustaining a culture that's still growing. It's not perfect, but we can see him at work in this and leading others to himself within Christian hip hop. So this tour is not for you to memorize all the names within Christian hip hop, but it's just a way for you to now navigate through it. Definitely recommend checking out some of those artists, some of the labels, some of those pages on Instagram, some of those producers. I mean, shout out to the playlist. Playlist is something very big too. Sometimes you just hop on the Spotify app and man, you want to hear new music. Once you start tapping into some of these artists, you'll see who they're connected to. And yeah, just tap in. You listen to them, you'll get some more music on the release radar. For all my Spotify folks. For Apple Music, man, it's been a struggle on that side. Next episode, we'll be hearing from people meeting Christian hip hop for the first time, including my own. This is Meeting CHH, and that was a tour through the Christian hip hop genre.